Calificas para ser legal. ¿Quieres saber? Solo llama al abogado Andrés Mejer.
So now, what happens if you worked in the U.S. illegally? Well, first of all, let's define it. What is unauthorized employment? What is illegal employment? Well, immigration defines it as 1, any service or labor that 2, by a foreign national, meaning not a U.S. citizen, 3, who is not authorized to work or exceeds the scope of his permission, and 4, for a U.S. employer. So let me give you the example. Let's say I'm a graphic artist from Spain. Or you know what, I'm from Chile. Let's say I'm a graphic artist from Chile. I don't actually go to the office. I do all my work remotely anyway. I come to the States and a client calls me up and says he needs something. I do it and I get paid for it. Did I provide a service or labor? I did. Am I a foreign national? I am. Was I authorized to do the work? I was not. But was it for a U.S. employer? No. It's an employer in Chile. You know, that's for one of my existing clients, or it's for my employer. That was not unauthorized labor. If I'm hired to do the same thing in the U.S. while being in the U.S., now I got a problem. Even though I'm on a tourist visa, maybe that's not something I should be doing because it might violate the terms of my visa. Now, what are the consequences if I work without permission? Well, if ICE finds out about me, I could be put in removal proceedings. Now, if I'm undocumented, ICE can try to deport me for good reason, bad reason, or no reason at all. Basically, if I'm illegal, I have no protection necessarily from deportation. If ICE finds me, they can pick me up. Now, what happens? I have a visa, student, tourist, H-1B. Let's talk about tourist or student for a moment. And so neither of those necessarily give me work authorization. Student visa, after completion, there's OPT, there's OCT. There are certain permissions I can get to work with some limited scenarios. But let's say I don't have that. Let's say I'm from Venezuela and I entered as a tourist and I got work. So I'm a tourist. Tourists are not supposed to work. Now, if immigration finds out that I'm doing that, I lose my visa and I likely will not be allowed to come back, or I will be sent back. Now, they could also cancel my current visa. So let's say I'm from Spain, or you know what, back to Chile. I just present my passport under a visa waiver. It's called an ESTA. I'm given automatically 90 days. Immigration finds out I'm working. They will cancel my visa. They will deport me and likely prevent me from coming back. So let's say that I came to the U.S. as a tourist. I worked. Nobody knew anything, right? I left. Employers say, hey, why don't you come back? 3 months later, I come back and I board the plane. And immigration says, hey, what about, what brings you back? So you're only gone here about 3 months ago. What brings you back? Oh, well, I got a job offer. Oh, job offer, but here's a tourist visa. Visa canceled, they put you on a plane back to Chile or wherever country you're coming from because you just violated the terms of the visa. So you got to be very careful what you say and what you do. Now, here's one thing that they won't do if you work without permission. They will not cancel your green card. They will not fail to give you a green card. Now, green card petitions, called the Form I-485, asks if you have ever worked illegally. If you lie, you commit fraud, and now you're ineligible. If you tell the truth, you're still going to get your green card. So be very careful when you fill out petitions. There are gotcha questions. In my opinion, the only reason that question was included was to see if they can catch you lying. That's it, either now or in the future. That's the only reason that particular question was included. And there's been a lot of those gotcha questions that have been put in the past 4 or 5 years. Now, how is immigration going to find out that you worked illegally? Well, maybe you told them. Like the example I gave, you're speaking to a border official and they're asking you, why are you coming here? Oh, I'm here to for work. But your visa doesn't have that. Oops, sorry. Or how about I'm here on a tourist visa. Oh, what's the reason for you come today? I'm getting engaged tomorrow. Oh, who's your husband? U.S. citizen. Oh, denied. Because different subject, but tourist visa is to come in temporarily and to go back to your country. If you indicate you're gonna marry a U.S. citizen, your intention is not to go back. They will deny your visa. So what you say is important. Now, how would the immigration find out if you worked illegally? You told them. Be very careful. Well, how's another way that you might tell them indirectly? Social media. Immigration Services has access to all information shared in the public domain. So Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, they can easily be searched. A Google search of your employer may result in evidence of you working. Think about it. Let's say you just came back from a holiday party. You work for Under Law. We just had our holiday party last year. We took photos. Maybe we put things on social media. Maybe people put it on their own social media page. And all of a sudden immigration says, oh, you work for Under Law, right? Yeah, how'd you know that? Oh, funny that. So be very careful. Now, we previously have spoken about consular officials asking for your email and social media handles for the last 5 years on any applications for immigrant visa or non-immigrant visa. Thank you, Manny and Diosa. Happy New Year, Merry Christmas to all. Feliz Navidad, bendiciones a todos. Muchas gracias a Diolisa y a Manny y Alejandro. So we previously spoke about consular officers asking for that information. Now it's being challenged with the courts, but in my opinion, it's the way of the future. It will be a requirement for all immigration applications to provide your social media handles and your email. And if you find out that you lied about it, that's fraud. It's a basis to deny your application. There is just so much information that's there. And again, in prior shows, I've talked about the dangers of social media, the information that you put out there, and how it can trip you up. You know, what happens if you're married, but you're hardly ever on social media, but your social media handle still shows you as single? Oops, that's a problem. Be very careful. So, everyday information that's available online, that's one way. You told them, that's another way. Third, tax filings, yours or your employers. Most immigration filings include tax filings. Now, we prefer tax transcripts. They're cleaner, they provide less information, and they don't include W-2s. Most attorneys, and frankly, non-attorneys, include W-2s. Now, here's what happens if you're illegal in the United States, if you're undocumented, if you're unauthorized, you don't have work authorization. You often are working with a fake social. Your W-2, which is the yearly recapture of how much you earned, will show that social security number. You then take it, you file taxes with an ITIN, individual tax identification number. That's something that IRS gave you, recognizing you're here without permission, but everybody who works is obligated to pay taxes, so they give you a number to do that. Now, if you fill out with the ITIN, that has your ITIN number, and now you're providing a W-2 with a different number. So you've just provided proof to immigration that you've lied to at least one government office. Are you lying to USCIS? You lied to IRS? What about to the state government? Maybe you live in New Jersey, you pay taxes in New Jersey, or you should pay taxes in New Jersey. You lied to them too. So that's two government agencies to get a benefit. That they could deny you on good moral character. I haven't seen them do that, but in this climate, do you really want to take a chance? You know, so be very careful. Tax filings of yours or your employers. Think about it. You're using a fake social. Your employer is disclosing that they employ you with that number. If that gets checked by immigration or and they can, under certain circumstances, well, now there's an inconsistency between the name and the social. That may be a basis for a raid. That may be a basis to ask for your particular information, and they show up at home or at your place of employment. So employers are required to prepare an I-9 for every employee. That's a document that confirms that the employee has work authorization. If documents are audited, it can show an inconsistency, and immigration services can exploit it. Immigration services can also verify social security numbers of employees. They typically only do this for large employers. Think of, the plants, the chicken plants that were raided in the Midwest. That's what happened. They reviewed the information, there were inconsistencies, they showed up and they arrested some 600 people. Not in one location, in multiple locations. So it can result in audits, it can result in workplace raids. Workplace raids are where ICE shows up at a job site and confirms everyone's identity. Whether they're allowed to do so or not, they are doing it, and they have done it. So be very careful. Thank you for joining us to Para Ser Legal to Be Legal. Today we talked about driver's license issued in New Jersey for undocumented immigrants starting January 2021 in 1 year. We talked about how Trump is looking to deport people with DACA, and we talked about what happens if you worked in the US illegally. Stay tuned for the latest news. Please subscribe to our channel. Call us if you have any questions. We're here for you.